before my diagnosis, I was a freelance graphic designer and artist and musician and music promoter, and music and art basically was formed the basis of my enjoyment and my life, both professionally and for leisure time. So yeah, those were my main things that occupied my time. For us, we I guess sort of trod the same path.
Yeah.
Siân owns a pub in Worcester, which I did a lot of work for, branding wise and DJing, music events, stuff like that.
So your inspiration, heroes, I think when we met, you and Steve share a love of Black Sabbath, I believe.
Yeah.
Everyone loves Black Sabbath.
Yeah.
That's not just me and Bert,
Yeah.
Yeah. Heroes and stuff, growing up. Actually, my ultimate hero was Steve Severin from Susie and the Banshees, the bass player. He's the reason I started playing the bass. Before that, I guess I got into music, in a big way, late 70s, through, my friends, older siblings. So got into punk and heavy metal through that. So heroes-wise, musically, it was always the more subversive people. Even when I was young, people were quite attractive, Sex Pistols and The Clash and Black Sabbath and Iron Maiden, really, for all the artwork and stuff, because I was really into art, obviously.
Yeah, so I guess we go back quite a long way, don't we?
We do.
We worked together in a previous business, creative business, fashion business. Chris head of design for, nearly 20 years, I guess, in that business. And probably we go back a bit further than that, really, don't we? With music and bands and the sort of local music scene. Chris has always been really prominent on that scene as a young kid playing in bands and then later on promoting and running all sorts of events.
I believe you were at my first gig.
The one in the Anchor.
Yeah.
Was that the first gig, was it?
Yeah, that was my first gig.
Yeah, it was. I was there with Pete and Shrub.
Shrubby, yeah.
That's how
Yeah.
Yeah. So the back room of a pub in Skittle Alley many years ago.
Yeah.
A long way back. So I guess after we were working together in the clothing thing, you kind of became a freelancer. We did all sorts of bits of projects together over the years. And then we started Mutt, and then who was the first person I go to help us do the design and the creative is Chris. And he helped do the original Mutt logos, a lot of the original merchandising, all sorts of creative stuff, really.
Yeah.
So
murals in the old place.
Yeah, we painted murals on the walls, didn't we, in the old place? And I don't know if they can see them on camera, but there's some of Chris's huge graphics up on the walls there, sort of 30 feet high. So Chris did stuff for us all the way through, I guess, our time of creating Mutt and being involved in the bike world. Yeah. And so when Chris, when Chris got ill, one of the things, Siân started this sort of campaign to try and raise some funds to help support, get the technology and the things that you needed to try and carry on with your normal life, I guess, really, isn't it? And just a simple thing we did was we auctioned off a bike, raffled it off with some help from some friends who've got an auction raffle sort of business, which they did for free for us. And it did really well, didn't it? I mean, it raised more than double the price of the actual bike. People were very generous, and the guy that won, loved it and rides it every day, so that's been a really good thing. And through that publicity, I guess, us knowing you guys and Ride2Give, you got in touch and really touched by your story and wanted to get involved and see what these guys could do to help support the cause.
Ride2Give set up a charity 4 years ago to help people in the community. We're primarily a group of motorcyclists that help people in need in the community, and it was a pleasure to hear with Mutt Motorcycles working with Chris to raise awareness of his plight with his MND, and very happy to be involved in helping where we can. We're raising money and funds from other motorcyclists and the community, hopefully making a difference and supporting where we can.
I think what's really interesting, and I think something that Ride2Give have been able to try and help, is with your technology to try and get you being creative again and using new technology that's out there that I don't think really doesn't yet do what you need it to do, and you're trying to get it to do that, which I think is really interesting.
This is a very big kind of conundrum, really. It's so I've had a trial with a piece of equipment called a TD Pilot, which is through a company called Toby Dynavox, that are the leading eye tracking company, and they do this. It's basically iPad based, which is probably best for me because it's the most kind of updatable in terms of like software and stuff like that, because new apps are coming out all the time. What I want to do with it, because there are people out there that do art with eye gaze, and there are people out there that do music with eye gaze. But what I want to do with the music side of it is to learn how to try and perform with it, rather than it being just like a music production. I don't know if it's possible, but I know the music production side of it is possible to some degree, but because I've been doing before my diagnosis, as I said before, I was a musician, but I did a lot of electronic music as well, and the problem is that I'm getting with a lot of eye tracking is that it works with existing apps, but it's not designed. The apps aren't designed for it, so it's very problematic. And particularly with design stuff as well. Like when I did a trial with the TD Pilot, as I said, and the mistake I made was I went straight into trying to use it with Photoshop. It was a bad idea.
Complex thing.
Yeah, bad idea. I've been using Photoshop since 1994 or 95, something like that. So I'm really proficient in it. But what I kind of found was it was almost impossible to use with eye gaze.
So is this the interface between the software? So the eye gaze tracks your eye movements.
Yeah.
So say like literally moving
to
the cursor. But you've got to interface that tracking software with the software that you...
Yeah, to give a bit of in layman's terms, I guess, you calibrate your... It's like a big iPad, and it's got a camera built in, and you calibrate it to your eyes. So
your eye becomes the cursor.
Your eye becomes the cursor, so wherever you're looking on the screen, it'll go, and then you can kind of bring up a menu and create actions with that. But
in normal programs, I think the thing that I've noticed is where everything where you would click, if things are close together, which they are because there's lots of things to click on, it becomes really, really tricky, doesn't it, to kind of use, you know, like...
Not precise enough.
No.
Yeah,
So like the
it
things
isn't.
that are designed, the programs that are designed for eye gaze are a lot more kind of spaced out, like
Yeah.
kind of grids.
And it's a lot
almost.
more basic as well.
Yeah.
So obviously with me, like I produce my art to a very high level. So even though I do say so myself, I'm used to being like very precise and very. I use a graphics tablet and a pen and everything. So it's like, you know, hand drawing stuff. With your eyes, that's really hard. Almost, I haven't seen anything yet that kind of does anywhere near like I would want it to be. So I'm managing my expectations on the art side of things. My main goal is to get back some kind of sense of purpose. I've done like art since I could hold a pencil, and then like throughout my professional or my education and career, it was all art and design based. So to have that all taken away with not being able to use my like arms and hands has been like the biggest hurdle really, because I can't like, it's like it's where I would go to for, you know, relaxation or therapy or anything like that in the past, enjoyment, and same with music. So I think, I guess what I'm trying to say is the will is there to try and utilise the equipment to, you know, somehow try again to create some art and music. But I have to manage my expectations because I'm finding it very difficult to find, you know, the right apps. And there's not a lot of information out there that's like specific for, you know, you can use it, you know, this is a good drawing app for eye gaze or something like that, or so yeah, a bit long-winded, but
if you're pushing this and this what you're trying to do with the technology, and it seems to me that would benefit lots of other people.
Yeah.
So if somebody with your knowledge of how software and creative software works, whether it's art, whether it's music, design, can find a way of integrating it, then it's going to benefit other people.
That's correct. There is some support out there in terms of, like, there's I'm a member of like eye gaze artists on Facebook, but it's I've asked a few questions on there, like, you know, what's good for everyone says a different thing, and a lot of people use you know, like AI for creating art instead of actually you know, like a hands-on or eyes-on.
So they're writing a prompt rather than actually moving something to virtual pencil to paint a picture.
Well, that's it, yeah. And it's everyone's got a different opinion, and for the nature of the group, there's a lot of people there with you know, neuro complications and stuff like that. So some people don't, you know, ever get back to you, or you know, they'll post like art that they've done or something, but you know, if you ask them a question, you know, it's sometimes difficult to get like a kind of like dialogue going, just because of the nature of, you know, other people with MND or stuff like that. But there are sort of like communities out there, but I found it quite difficult to get any information as yet.
So hopefully, if you can raise some awareness, then there might be more people out there who might know more, can help.
Yeah.
And the more we raise to be able to get kit to test it, it could benefit.
Yeah.
You know, wider group of people.
But we're pulling the trigger on the TD pilot, so and that's obviously helped by you guys, which is you know, a great thing. So we're just kind of like starting that process now, but I kind of like wanted to get as much information as I can, although it's very difficult to find about what I need.
The frustrating thing, I think, is as well that with not all forms of MND, obviously, but this sort of, you know, the type of MND you have, the ALS, it's time critical, isn't it? Like, we don't have time to wait for responses, and so people who, you know, it'd be really good to be able to get something that's more instant for people to access who are in the same situation as you. Because, you know, you don't have years to get used to using a new way of doing things. You know, you need to sort of know how to do it. And
this is right. It's you're constantly playing catch up with the MND symptoms, really, and you know, things take time, and you might think that you need something, and then by the time you're able to get it, you can't use it. You know, like it's happened a few times with me with you know, like you losing the use of my hands and stuff, where, you know, I've been given some equipment that I could have done with, like, you know, 4 months earlier, kind of thing, but because it takes so long, it's like I've outgrown it, or my condition has progressed past it. So yeah, it's quite frustrating to say the least. But so I guess like the ultimate like end game or goal for me is to on the music side of things is to learn or work out how I can create music with eye gaze and ultimately perform it. So I would like to, you know, be able to orchestrate some kind of live performance, which I don't believe has been done by anybody with a neuro condition. Might have been, but not to my knowledge. I know there's plenty of people that do music production, but actual live performance, if it's possible, I want to find out if I can do it and actually perform live while I still can, because my symptoms are progressing quite quickly, faster than we thought, aren't they? So yeah, that's kind of like, and I miss doing it. I miss music. I've done music, you know, all my life, and then I haven't done any for over a year. So yeah, that's the goal for me.
I think it's really important that if you can help in any way, you do so, and do so as soon as possible. You know, if it's for information or a donation, I think everything's greatly appreciated sooner than later.
Yeah, I think if anybody wants to donate, the links are at the end of the video or below or wherever. But it's not just about money. If anybody's got expertise that can help, knows about how to speed up the use of this software, that would be great too. Please don't hesitate to give everyone a shout.